Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Tyler here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Sacramento Kings. So if you're here for my normal NBA 2K content, I'm sorry, but I made a couple videos on the Kings firing Dave Yeager and hiring Luke Walton a couple weeks back, and those videos pretty much kind of blew up. Not like blew up like thousands of views, but like they both got like probably 300 views, and there was tons of likes, tons of comments, people begging me basically to cover the Kings because nobody covers the Kings on YouTube, at least nobody good does. And yeah, so I kind of got shoehorned into covering the Kings now, which is something that I wanted to do for quite some time, but I thought it was gonna be the opposite. I thought the Kings aren't that big of a team. The Kings, nobody really cared to watch just Kings videos, and basically there'll be no audience for it. Well, in all reality, nobody covers the Kings, so there's a hunger amongst Kings fans for somebody that covers the Kings, and I guess I'm going to be that guy. Should not have underestimated the fan base. I mean, the Kings have a rabid fan base, so I probably should have been like, yeah, I probably should have made videos about the Kings a long time ago, but whatever, we're doing it now. So if you guys enjoy the videos, like the videos like you've been doing, and subscribe if you're new here, and we're about to break down the offseason of the Sacramento Kings. Let's do it. And for the record, just to show you guys right here, the Sacramento Kings fire Dave Yeager. This video, 20 likes, no dislikes, 19 comments, 351 views. The Kings hire Luke Walton, 16 likes, 10 comments, 277 views. That's like just straight up Kings fans coming to my videos and commenting on stuff. So thank you guys so much for that. I'm happy that I got Kings fans support my videos. Alright guys, so I took the liberty of making two mock free agency acquisitions, if you will. I found a website called right here, rosterbuilder.com, with a hyphen between roster and builder. And it's kind of amazing. You can like type in players, anybody you want, type in any price you want, change the salary of players, and I never have seen it before, but I just typed in NBA roster editor or something on YouTube or on Google, and that's what came up. So it works pretty well, and I actually recorded this video already once, but instead of it having the screen capture, it was just my webcam, even though I was doing stuff on the screen. So I'm re-recording it, which sucks, but it's actually better because it was 48 minutes long. This time I built both my rosters ahead of time, and I'm just going to be talking about what's on the screen instead of trying to do it live, which takes way longer. So, what do I think we should do this offseason? Before we get to any moves I want to make, let's open up a third rosterbuilder.com, and let's just talk about the current team of the Sacramento Kings. Let's go to Sacramento. Message from my dad, hold on. Okay, so anyways, here's our current team. Let me go ahead and make sure everything's going right with this, and it is okay. So, do not want to see my whole face. Get out of there. So here's our current team right now. We have Harrison Barnes currently on a $25 million deal. Marvin Bagley, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nemanja Bjelica, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Yogi Ferrell, Harry Giles, Caleb Swanigan, Frank Mason. Then we have over here free agent cap holds. We have Alec Burks, Kosta Koufos, Corey Brewer, Willie Cauley-Stein, and BJ Johnson. Now, so let's just get BJ Johnson out of the way. He's played a little bit at the end of the year. He was all right. Keep him, put him in the G League. That's it. Corey Brewer, I actually really enjoyed him. I would have no problem bringing him back for veterans minimum, and we might throw him on one of our two rosters here at the end, or maybe both. Kosta Koufos, we'll get to him in a minute. Alec Burks, I think he's a decent player. I don't have a problem with Alec Burks at all. I like him. He didn't get like any playing time for the Kings. I think it's because he plays kind of Tyreek Evansy, where he has to have the ball and get the pick and roll and drive to the basket. He's not someone that's just like a role player, jump in and spot up, shoot the three and D. He's more like a ball handler. You gotta let him get in a rhythm, and it kind of didn't really fit with the team. So I like Alec Burks. I don't know if the Kings team is right for him, but I like him. I don't think we're going to bring him back. Costa Kufis, if we get desperate, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but if we like run out of options and can't find someone to sign, I wouldn't mind bringing Costa back in a limited role. Give him like $4 million, $6 million, not $8 million, please. I mean, give him like give him the littlest amount you can to get him. Don't mess up our roster situation by giving him too much, which obviously he's not going to be worth that much anyways. But I mean, if he's like our last option if we need a center. But he's a Daviator guy. He's probably gone. And Willie Cauley-Stein. Let's talk about Willie. Man, I want Willie to be good. I like Willie. He tore it up at the beginning of the year last season. And then he just pretty much fell flat. The best way I can describe his gameplay, how he plays the game, is some games he plays like there's somebody like courtside aiming a gun at him. Like, you better play well or I'm going to kill you. And he's just like playing his ass off. Then other times he plays like he's already been shot and he's like limping around with one leg or something. Like he's either trying, or he's just like, I'm dead. What's the point? Who cares? I've never seen anything like it before out of an NBA player ever. Now, I'm not exaggerating. I've never ever seen from game to game such a difference in play style. I don't understand it. I think Willie Cauley-Stein could be a possible defensive player of the year candidate if he had his heart into it. I don't think he does. Offensively, he tries to do all these little touch layups. He'll like do this thing where he tries to like go dunk the ball, or no, he gets the ball, he should dunk it, and he does like a layup, and he'll miss like a wide open layup. It's like, oh, it's the worst. I don't like it. He doesn't do anything with any ferocity. And when he does, it seems to be like it's on a smaller player that he like has confidence that he can beat him. It's like when I don't know. I'm not a fan of Willie. So we're not bringing him back in either of my scenarios. Just telling you that right now. I like you, Willie. I want you to be good, but I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Willie. Good luck on your new team. Okay, so we have things to do here. Okay, so I'm going to go through my two rosters here. Let me go ahead and throw this NBA roster over here. So right here, we have the current team right now. This is next year's salary. As you guys can see, Harrison Barnes is making $25.1 million. Bagley 8.5, Bogdanovich 8.5, Bielitsa 6.8, De'Aaron Fox 6.3, but he healed 4.8, Yogi 3.1, and that is not guaranteed. They have a team option on him, I believe. Harry Giles 2.5, Caleb Swanigan 2 mil, and there's a glitch on this whole website here, so it says guaranteed 20 mil, but that is wrong. Let me change that. 160, and then Frank Mason 1.6. So right away, we have to address the Harrison Barnes opt-out situation. There's a good chance that he opts out and signs a long-term deal where he makes less money per year, especially with the fact that we hired Luke Walton, and I know about the whole Luke Walton scandal and all that. I'm just going to act like none of that happened, and I'm just going to talk about the Kings as the Kings. Whatever happens with Luke Walton happens. I don't know what else to say. It's not really nothing I can say that will do anything about it. I'm just going to talk about the Kings as if they were a team with basketball players that play basketball, and that's it. So with Luke Walton being there, everyone's like, oh, Harrison Barnes will definitely want to stay. I don't know how much Harrison Barnes will possibly get. Obviously, the consensus is that, okay, instead of making $25 million for 1 year, he opts out of this last year of his contract and signs a long-term deal with more money long-term. So that way, if he tears his ACL 10 games into the year, then he at least has long-term money instead of, having the 25 mil, then basically not making any money the rest of his career. So I feel like $15 million, I would like to get him at $15 million. I don't know if he'll accept that. I feel like that might be a little cheap, only because it seems like, I don't know. I'm so confused. Like, it seems like, back when the salary cap blew up a couple years ago, everybody was getting signed for ridiculous amounts of money. Now it seems like it's corrected a little bit, but it still seems like guys are getting overpaid. I don't know. So I just decided, you know what? just to be safe, to make this video somewhat accurate, I'm going to say that he signs a 4-year, $72 million extension, opting out, signing that extension. So I guess it's not really extension, is it? But whatever. 4-year, $72 million. That would be $18 million per year for Harrison Barnes. So I'm going to bring you to our first roster here. Harrison Barnes, $18 million a year for 4 years. I don't know if all this stuff is right. Cap, tax, and apron. Just ignore that. The only numbers that are accurate here are these 2 rows, salary and guarantee. And then the total right here, because that adds up when I change these. Everything else over here, I don't know about that. That's just irrelevant. Just ignore that. Act like it doesn't exist. So the salary cap is $109 million. I put together a roster that I think could be possible. This is something I don't really want to do. Well, I partly do. But I feel like this is basically my obligatory if we sign Nikola Vucevic lineup, because that's a big rumor that the Kings are going to go hard at Vucevic. We're trying to get every white Serbian guy in the NBA we can for some reason. Well, I know why, because of Vlade. But yeah, so hypothetically in this scenario, Harrison Barnes re-signs for $18 million a year. Then we just kind of skip ahead. In order to make the salary, to get under the salary cap with this lineup, we would probably have to actually cut Yogi Ferrell from the team, which wouldn't be a big deal. And as a matter of fact, what I would probably do in this scenario is cut Yogi Ferrell, cut Caleb Swanigan, and then bring back Corey Brewer because that would bring you down. Say Swanigan and Yogi Ferrell are making $5 million combined, or a little more than $5 million, about 5.2. That would bring you down to $106 million. And then the veterans minimum will bring you up to about 108.5, 19. That would pretty much put you right at the salary cap. Cutting those 2 guys, adding Corey Brewer. So I would maybe do that. Just keep that in mind, but I'm not going to go ahead and change that because I don't want to mess this up. I already have it set up how I want it. So in this scenario, we sign Nikola Vucevic. He's a big free agent acquisition for us. We give him the max. The reason I settled at $28 million a year is because I read an article. Here we go, right here. I read this article, NBA rumors, Dallas Mavericks lucrative deal awaits Nikola Vucevic. Basically, it says right here, the Mavericks could possibly offer Vucevic a 5-year contract worth $140.6 million. 140 divided by 5 is 28, so $28 million a year for Nikola Vucevic. So, but the weird thing is, I thought the only team that could give him a 5-year deal would be the team that he's already on, which is the Magic. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, but whatever. That doesn't really matter. Just say we give him a $28 million deal, even if it's for 4 years. Whatever. Hypothetically, we signed Nikola Vucevic. So that, I believe, brought our cap space from $109 million minus the 69 that we are 647,466. So roughly, I believe it's actually a little less than that. I believe it's like 35 million that we have to use, but we still have a lot of cap space, so we can still sign Vucevic fairly easy. Now, actually, we're gonna, since this is what we have to spend, we're gonna actually add 7 million to this because we cut 7 million to, by re-signing Harrison Barnes. This 25 million goes down to 18 million, which then cuts, how much we're spending on our team. So really, we have $46 million to spend in free agency, which would be crazy if that actually happens. And maybe Harrison Barnes goes for cheaper and we get more. But I don't know. I just did that. This is all hypothetical. Keep in mind, as a Kings fan, I'm talking to other Kings fans. Just getting excited for the offseason. So guys, comment down below and tell me what you think. If you think this video is complete garbage, tell me, please. So $46 million, that's our hypothetical. Well, right away, we're going to take away $28 million of that because we just signed Vucevic, which is right here. So now we need to create other roster spots, or not create other spots, sign other people with this $18 million. A guy I think we could, as you can see right here, I just highlighted his name, Patrick Beverley. Looking at the free agency list, what is this? Get out of here, please. Thank you. I got to put ad block back on. That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, anyways, this is actually small forwards. Let's go to point guards. Look at the point guards here. I don't want D Rose. Don't want Terry Rozier. Don't want Elfrid Payton. Everything Patrick Beverley brought to the Clippers this year was amazing. The way he lights a fire under his teammates, his ridiculous defense, just everything about Patrick Beverley I love, and I would absolutely love to have him on the Kings. Both of my rosters I made has Patrick Beverley. I think it's a guy the Kings need to absolutely go for. The problem with the Kings this year was Bogdanovich playing the point. He basically was screwed no matter what happened with him, because he couldn't really play shooting guard. Buddy Hield was getting like all the minutes because he was how good he was. Then he was forced to play backup point guard, which he can do in spurts, but I think he was forced to do it too much. Or he was playing small forward where he was guarding guys way bigger than him. So it's like he never really could find a place on the bench. It's like, yeah, he would come and play backup shooting guard, and there was games where he just straight up stunk it up. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. But I feel like it was kind of a weird season for him, just because it's like, what is he? Is he a point guard? Is he a small forward? Is he a shooting guard? What's going on? It was a little bit different when Buddy wasn't as good the year before, so it was kind of like, okay, who's going to be the starter, Bogdan or Buddy? In that first year, it was more Bogdan than Buddy. I think the rise of Buddy kind of messed Bogdan up a little bit, so we'll see how he does this next year. But I believe we need a true backup point guard. Patrick Beverley's our guy. I truly believe that. I think he's amazing. I love Patrick Beverley. His last deal he signed was a 4-year, $23 million deal with the Rockets that then he got traded to the Clippers. He's never made more than like $6 million, I think, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Where's that right here? 6.4 is the most he's ever made in a year. He went 6.4, 6 million, 5.5, then this last season was 5 mil. So I said, you know what, he is like 31 years old. Maybe give him a number of years where it's 6 million every year. I don't know, maybe he'll want more, especially how it was in the playoffs this year. He'll be trying to get paid. But I don't know. I just went 6 mil. Like I said, I might not be very good guessing how much these guys are going to make here, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But I'm just trying to guess like what the Kings could do inside the salary. So Patrick Beverley, I think, would be a great point guard for us. And then Trevor Ariza was somebody that I just kind of actually threw in there at the end. I'm more concerned about Brook Lopez. I do have problems with Brook Lopez on this team with Vucevic and Bjelica. If Brook Lopez were to be on this team, he basically only shoots threes, and he's not that good of a defender. So I think him being with Bjelica wouldn't be a good fit. Like, I definitely would play probably off the bench. It would be Giles and Lopez, and Giles isn't exactly a great defender either, but I think he tries. I mean, Bjelica has moments, don't get me wrong, but I think point being is I think with this roster there's a flaw in that Lopez, Giles, Bjelica wouldn't be very good defensively. Vucevic is a decent defender, don't get me wrong, but I also think the other issue is Brook Lopez likes to jack up threes, that's how I like him. I'm not a big fan of big men jacking up threes, but Brook Lopez is an exception because he is amazing at it. So I like Brook Lopez on this team. Me giving him $7 million was because he only made 3.3 this year, and he played amazing. So $7 million is actually twice what he made this year, and he's probably playing twice as good as previous years. So I feel like that might make sense, but then again, he might want more since being a three-point shooting big man is such a commodity in today's NBA. So that's my idea on that. Trevor Ariza is just a backup small forward. Just somebody that can come in and do 3 and D. He's 33 years old, so he's getting up there in age. He made $15 million this last year, and I'm pretty sure the only reason the Suns paid him that was just to get to the salary floor. I don't think he's worth $15 million at this point. $8 million is a little more than half of what he made this last season. So, you know, I feel like $8 million isn't bad for him to be a veteran on a possible playoff team. And maybe you just don't even sign Trevor Ariza and just take him off and then sign Corey Brewer for the veterans minimum instead. And that way you're completely under the salary cap and you can keep Swanigan and Yogi Ferrell. But that's kind of my idea for the Vucevic lineup. If Vucevic happens, that's how I'd like to see it happen. It could be a complete pipe dream because Beverly, Vucevic, Ariza, and Lopez are all some big names. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a Kings homer. Let's get into the second roster. I'll see what you guys think about that one. Okay, so then we have our second roster that I put together. We are getting less players, but we're getting players that are a little better. I feel like in some ways this roster is more possible, but then less possible at the same time. Because I don't know if the Kings really have that free agent signing power yet. I'd like to believe they do, but with the Luke Walton thing, who knows? So basically, it's the same roster. The first player we sign here is DeAndre Jordan. Obviously, everything's the same, including the Harrison Barnes contract, $18 million. So with this roster, we signed DeAndre Jordan to $20 million a year. Say 1 year $20 million or 2 years $40 million or whatever. Because he did sign 1 year $22, I believe, with the Mavericks this last season. Before he got traded to Knicks, obviously, but so say we give him 1 year $20 million, and then we go at small forward because I feel like we will need some small forward depth. We sign Bojan Bogdanovic. So we have the Bogdanoviches. That'd be amazing. And then obviously I still want Patrick Beverly. He's a beast. So I still threw him in there. You can give him a little more money because this version is under the salary cap a little bit. But essentially you'd be rolling out a lineup of De'Aaron, Buddy, Harrison Barnes, Bagley, and DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, I feel like, would fit with the team a little more with the run-and-gun style, whereas Vucevic is more of like kind of the play goes through him a little more. He's not as much of a runner, not as much of a jumper. You know, he's white, European, but white. So, we're not known for our jumping skills. And then DeAndre Jordan actually surprisingly shot 70% from free throw this year. The best he ever did in his whole career was he had one season where he shot 53%. Everything else was in the low 40s and high 30s. Some even the low 30s. And he had a season where he shot 70% this last season on the Mavericks / Knicks. The season before that, his last season on the Clippers, he shot 53%. So his free throws are getting better. So it actually makes the contract not as bad because he can shoot free throws now, which hopefully it continues. Obviously, Westbrook can't shoot free throws anymore, so but so DeAndre Jordan, $20 million. Bojan Bogdanovic, he signed a 2-year, $22.5 million deal or something with the Pacers. It's basically 2 years, he made $10.5 million each year. So do the math on that. What's that? 2 years, $21 million, I think. So this gives him a little more money. He is turning 30. He's not the best defensively, Bogdanovic isn't. But I feel like he can make up for that with the fact that he's like one of the best shooters in the NBA. He is coming off a season where he averaged a career high in points, rebounds, and assists. So I definitely think he'll be making a little more than he did his contract with the Pacers. $13 million seems alright for him. I feel like he'd definitely be getting a lot more out of $13 million for Bojan, I guess I should say, than $13 million for Alec Burks, which is what it was last year. And then obviously I want Patrick Beverly. I already talked about Patrick Beverly before in the last roster. I like Patrick Beverly. I want him a lot. Looking at this team, you would obviously have Fox, Buddy, Bielitsa, or Fox, Buddy, Barnes, Bagley, DeAndre Jordan, and then your backup would be Patrick Beverly, Bojan Bogdanovic, Giles, and we probably need a backup big man. I mean, you could go Bielitsa, Giles. I feel like that'd be a little small though. Definitely maybe still sign a Brook Lopez, or maybe even like a Rashawn Holmes if you can. I think he might be a restricted free agent though. Even like just anybody you could think of. Let's see, where do we have? Where's small forwards? Centers right here. refresh this one. I mean, these are like the top centers, obviously. But there's like a Boban Marjanovic. He's unrestricted. I don't really want him. Dwayne Dedmon unrestricted. I wouldn't mind him. You could throw him in there for $6 million. JaVale McGee. I wouldn't mind JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee's actually been really good this year, or he was before GM LeBron stepped in and decided to bring in Tyson Chandler and pretty much diminish JaVale McGee. But Robin Lopez, he's decent. Like, there's a lot of good, decent options here at the center position. But that's kind of the way I would go. I wouldn't really... I'm in more preference. I prefer the DeAndre Jordan roster more than I do the Nikola Vucevic roster. Although I do like the prospects of having a Trevor Ariza, a Brook Lopez on the team. But I really would like Bojan Bogdanovic. I would really like DeAndre Jordan. And I didn't really like DeAndre Jordan in the past. And I've seen some Kings fans scoff at it. And even I scoffed at it on Twitter. But I've thought about it a little more. 1 year, let's see what he can do for the team. I wouldn't really mind it. I think he'd be decent. He's not some skilled, like, hit you with 3 moves in the post, get the dunk, in the end one, like DeMarcus was. But I think he can still fit the team pretty well. Obviously there's other choices out there. Like, you could sign, I feel like this lineup, where is it at? This DeAndre Jordan lineup, I definitely feel like the DeAndre Jordan lineup is missing like another guard, like a 2 guard, maybe like a Danny Green, who I believe is going to be a free agent. Somebody like that can play the guard, they can defend. Like a 3-and-D guy, a JJ Redick maybe, a Terrence Ross. I would really actually like Terrence Ross on the Kings team. Athletic perimeter player who can knock down triples with a plum? I don't know. I don't claim to be the smartest guy, but I don't know what that word is. So, yeah, maybe that's why I'm not the smartest guy. But hey, I wouldn't mind Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross would be awesome on the Kings team too. There's lots of options here. These wings are actually quite deep. Danny Green, JJ Redick, Terrence Ross, Jeremy Lamb, Tomas Satoransky, Wes Matthews, Reggie Bullock, Tyreek Evans, Austin Rivers, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Rodney Hood, Wayne Ellington, Seth Curry, Alec Burks. Lots of options here that could probably get meaningful minutes on the Kings as like that third shooting guard behind Bogdan or Buddy, or maybe even could play some small forward here and there in spurts, like the longer guys like Danny Green, Terrence Ross, Tomas Satoransky. So yeah, ooh, that's a gnat. Let me get that gnat. Oh, I missed it. Anyways, Reggie Bullock. I like Reggie Bullock. So that's just kind of my idea, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about what I think about the offseason, what you guys think the Kings should do. I wouldn't mind trading Bjelica. I've seen some people out there saying we should trade Bogdanovic. I don't know about that. I'd like to give Bogdan 1 more year before we just decide to trade him, but I see where the frustration was with Bogdan. But I think Bogdan just kind of had a rough year, and I think now that he knows Buddy is a legit star, and he knows that we got Harrison Barnes starting at small forward, if we can get a legit backup point guard, Bogdanovic will be able to find his role better. I think Yogi Ferrell's good off the bench, but if we have to cut him for salary or cut him because we don't really need him anymore, I mean, I love Yogi. Actually, Yogi Ferrell is somebody I really wanted on the Kings team. I really wanted them to go after him, and they did, and I liked him. But defensively, he's an issue. That's why I said we need to sign Patrick Beverley. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm really curious what you guys have to say. Like I said in the beginning of the video, thank you so much for supporting my Kings videos. I'm going to start posting these not sparsely, but, here and there through my NBA 2K content just to make the Kings fans happy. And if you guys are like, make a podcast or do something like that, I would do it. If you guys want me to. Just like maybe once a week, just talking about King stuff. Might be kind of tough in the off season, at least until free agency and stuff gets here. So, yeah, guys, if that's the video, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate all the support, whether it's Kings videos or NBA 2K or whatever else I decide to post in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you in the next one. Love you guys.